Mother of God.
We are back. Welcome everyone to another interesting episode of the Av Files. I'm your host, Av, and I'm joined once again by Daniel Arias. What's up, Daniel?
What's going on? Obviously, always the enigmatic guest.
Always.
Listen, it's always good to be back. Lots changed. I think the latest episode that dropped, we were still in January, and we've just dipped our toe into February.
Yeah.
And I would say, yeah, man, I started a 9-to-5 job. Not really a 9-to-5 job. But I started a job.
It's definitely not regular job.
Regular job.
Ouch town population, you bro.
And it's kicking my ass, man. Kicking my ass, but it's good. It's good to be out there earning that honest money where I don't have to worry about algorithms
with us commoners. Yeah. Welcome to the real world.
yeah, definitely punched me in the throat. So other than that, man, I'm still getting used to the crazy sleep schedule. I don't know about you, man. I work the night shift. The overnight shift, and that just messes with the day. Like I'll get home around 3:00 in the morning, and my son wakes up at 5, which means we all wake up at 5.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still learning that balance. So this is a good reprieve. This is a good step away to do this. I can forget about that craziness.
I actually didn't mind working night shifts.
Well, I mean,
I did that for about 2 years.
It's not sustainable over a long period of time. That really probably messes with
unless you're like an old divorced guy and probably have like a drinking problem. No.
Yeah, that's very true.
Very
true. I'm looking around the landscape of my new job, and I'm like, that tracks. That tracks. Yeah, that tracks. Surprisingly. So it's like, home? I don't need home. I am home.
I just pass out in the car.
Yeah.
What's for lunch?
I haven't been home.
Liquid lunch.
I haven't been home in a decade. Oh, man.
My wife has my home.
Yep. I've sewn my pocket shut because she took everything. God. But no, man, it's always good to be back. We're here. We're here. We're living it. We're doing it. That's pretty much
we're doing it. Yep. We got it going on. All right. So they say the truth is out there, but what if the man who claims to know it is the one who made it disappear?
Dun, dun, dun. What is that? Is that a quote from like Winnie the Pooh? Who's that? Who said that? Batman?
Piglet.
Piglet. Talking about Christopher Robin? Like,
yeah.
What is that from?
Nothing. That's my intro.
Got it. I was like, Sun Tzu.
It's from the Art of War.
Art of War.
So today's episode, we are diving into one of Phoenix, Arizona's most compelling unsolved missing person cases. We will be taking a look into the case of Alyssa Turney.
Ooh.
This is a case that has...
But before that, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, everyone.
Yes. If you guys are enjoying this, yes. I was like so focused on doing it.
Yeah.
If you guys are enjoying this, you find them somewhat interesting at all, just like it, subscribe, share, do all that good stuff. Comment, leave a comment down below. You know what? Grab your friends' phones, grab your grandmother's phone, and just push subscribe. Every little bit helps. I actually did that to my coworker. I said, "Let me see your phone real quick." He's like, "Why?" I said, "Let me just see it." He gave me his phone. I looked it up, pushed subscribe. I said, "Thank you very much." He goes, "What'd you do?" I said, "You now subscribe to my podcast."
You're welcome.
Your life is going to be so much better now, and you're welcome.
You'll thank me later. Don't know when, but someday.
Yeah. So just do it. Just do that. Grab a relative's phone, grab your friend's phone, boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever.
Hated ones. Anyone, enemies.
Grab someone you don't like.
Yeah, let them get like. Why am I following this? What is this? Yeah,
because that helps too. It doesn't matter if they hate you; they might like us. I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah, they might like us, or they might hate us. But either way, it's engagement, right?
Yeah. We might hate them back. We never know. See, and then we're all
mutual. It's a mutual thing. So.
So Alyssa Turney is an American girl who was last seen at the age of 17 in the Phoenix, Arizona area on May 17th, 2001. Alicia Marie Turney of Phoenix was born in 84 to parents of Barbara Farner and Stephen Strahan. Alicia's parents divorced when she was 3 years old, and her mother, Barbara, met and later married a man named Michael Turney, a former union electrician with strong opinions, an explosive temper, and an eerie fixation on control. And he was also supposedly a former police officer, or he has like some police training or background or some shit.
Not good. Not good ingredients already.
Yeah. So I mean, again, this is just from what I have seen, read. Okay. Um, but we'll get into that later too. Michael, who had 3 children from a previous relationship, he later adopted Alicia and her older brother John. Shortly after they married, Michael and Barbara later had the child of their own. They had a daughter named Sarah. So obviously now, he had 3 kids from a previous marriage. His wife Barbara had 2 children from a previous marriage, and when they met, they got married, and then they had a child, a little girl named Sarah. So there's 6 kids in all.
Blended family.
Blended family, yes. Okay. In 1993, Barbara was diagnosed with cancer. Just a year later, Barbara passed away when Alicia was only 9 years old,
Holy
leaving
shit.
Michael to raise all 6 children as a single parent. At the time of her disappearance, Alicia lived with her adopted father, Michael Turney, and her half sister, Sarah Turney. The other children were adults and no longer lived at home. Later on, as she got older, she worked at a fast food restaurant, Jack in the Box, and had a boyfriend named John. So on May 17, 2001, on the last day of school at Paradise Valley High School, Alicia's stepfather went to the school to pick her up early that day. And the reason isn't very clear as to why, and it said this was unusual. Witnesses, including her friends, reported nothing out of the ordinary during the school day. They say it was probably about 11:30, 12, between like 11:30 and 12:30. Alicia's stepfather, Michael Turney, picked her up early from school. Again, this was unusual because she had not mentioned leaving early to her friends or teachers. Michael later claimed that Alicia had asked to leave early because she was, quote unquote, upset, but still no answer as to why she was upset, right? Okay. So from what he said, she calls, she's upset about something. Why is she upset? What was she upset about? Don't know. Won't say. Um, so 17-year-old Alicia Turney gets up, walks out of the classroom, eager to start her summer break, but that would be the last time she would have been seen. She doesn't seem scared as she's walking down the hall. Some have said that she goes to her boyfriend's class just to peek in on him at his shop class before she leaves, just to say, like, see you later. They apparently had plans to meet up at a party later that night. Meanwhile, her sister Sarah was on a school trip, and Michael was supposed to pick her up after school. So it's been reported that she didn't go by her boyfriend's class, but other people say that she did. That she walked by, she peeked in, said, "Hey, I'm leaving. See you later," and like left. And they were like, "Cool, no problem," because apparently they were going to meet up at a party. I guess like last day of school party or some shit like that. That they were going to meet up at and like hang out.
Okay.
From what Michael said, Alicia got in the truck and they went to have lunch at Jack in the Box. Now, what was talked about over lunch, no one knows. But from what he said, on the way back to the house, they got into an argument, supposedly about her having more freedom. She's saying that he's too controlling. She needs some space. You are overbearing. I need some space. And I
this
guess
is
he's like,
this is what he said.
this is what he's saying. This is what the stepfather's saying. No, I guess he's like, no, you're whatever. So they got into this big argument about it. Again, supposedly, because they were the only 2 people in the truck.
That's only this is only coming from his point of view. This is from his side, obviously.
100%.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
remember, this is 2001. Okay.
Yeah.
So it's not that long ago,
But
but
yeah.
I don't think we had camera phones like we do now.
No, that's what I was gonna bring up, man. It's like I remember I graduated in 2005, and I still remember I've used the payphone at school.
What did he say?
I remember
Payphones were still
using the
around.
payphone to call my family to pick me up when I wasn't feeling good or whatever. I
Right.
called home that way
Right.
because not everyone had the cell phones,
Right.
and so 2001 was even worse. Like not worse, but like pre cell phone. Like
Yeah.
not really pre cell phone, but high schoolers didn't have cell phones like they do now.
Right. Right. Yeah. I mean, just in general, people didn't have cell phones like they do now.
No.
He said that after they got home, Alicia went straight to her room. She was frustrated and told him she was leaving. Michael, I guess, they were having an argument. He said, whatever. He left, said he went to go, he was going to go run some errands. And then he was going to go on his way to pick up her sister, Sarah, from school. But he never showed up to get Sarah. So Sarah thought he was supposed to pick her up from school. He never showed up. She ended up walking to a friend's house. Later on, Michael finally picked Sarah up from her friend's house. He didn't say anything at the time. He handed Sarah his phone and told her to call Alicia. So Sarah tried calling her numerous times, but she never picked up. When they finally got home, Sarah went to Alicia's room and noticed her backpack was overturned. All stuff was like on the floor, thrown out. While she was in her room, Sarah hears her cell phone buzzing on her dresser. When she finds it, she also finds a note next to it that Alicia supposedly wrote, which read, and even Sarah has been in interviews saying she can't remember exactly what it said. And this is pretty much what was on the note. Dad and Sarah, when you dropped me off at school today, I decided I really am going to California. Sarah, you wanted me gone. Look, now you have it. Dad, that's why I saved my money. I took 300 from you, Alicia. And this is the weird thing was that on the way when Michael Turney picked up his daughter Sarah from her friend's house on the way back, he was like, I've been trying to call Alicia. She won't answer. Here, take my cell phone. You call her and see if she picks up. Well, if she's not picking up for you anyway, why would she pick up for her? It's the same
Yeah,
number.
same number.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't change anything.
No.
And it was just that was weird, right? That's kind of odd. It was like, okay. They get to the house. I guess he kind of more or less let Sarah go first, from what it sounds like.
Yeah.
Let her go get into the house first, So she goes into the house. She looks into her sister's room. She isn't there. She finds all the stuff. She finds this note that has been said that it is in Alicia's handwriting, that they think it might have been a note that she had written previously at a different time. Like she got upset and that she was gonna, leave and stuff like that, but never did.
Here's a question. So this man was supposed to pick up his biological daughter and bailed,
Mhm.
and it didn't show.
He said he was
but
running errands.
his actual daughter, right? And
Right.
wasn't
Right.
there for his actual daughter. So he left
Mhm.
his blood waiting. Like he left his child in the air. Someone that was a control freak. You know what I mean? Like that's
Mhm.
weird.
Right.
Huh.
Right.
Okay.
Right. I mean, that's exactly what a lot, when people start hearing about this, they're like, a lot of the stuff right off the bat just doesn't add up.
Well, he's
It
been
just
through it
sounds
before
weird.
too. How many adult kids did he have? 3? And were they all
Yeah.
sons or daughters?
Boys. They were boys.
So
They were
he
boys.
kind of knows the game. He kind of knows the game of raising a kid, right? So he knows what they said. Okay. My wheels are turning. I mean, obviously, I'm just trying to think. Okay.
Stirring the pot. All right. So at this point, they think she ran away to California. Now she has talked about running off to California before, but she never was like really planning on. She said like after school, I want to go to California. You know, she had dreams of pursuing acting, singing, or something like that, right? She wanted to get into
Mhm.
entertainment, right? She did have family members. Supposedly, she had. I think they said that she had some family members out there, but no
Hmm.
one's heard from her, right? Um, so Michael, he called the police and told them his 17-year-old daughter had run off, but from what Sarah has said, it was done in a very nonchalant type of way. Daughter ran off, she probably be back, blah blah blah, whatever. However, it just didn't sound like my daughter's missing. She said he kind of like ran around the house, but it was one of those. Um, it was one of those where he was like you're
Got it.
doing it
Got it.
just to
You're
do
not
it.
actually
You're not
worried. You're
actually
just like,
worried. You know what I mean?
oh wait, I wonder.
Right. You're kind of like
Yeah.
right. So on the day she went missing, he did file a missing person report, but in the immediate days following Alicia's disappearance, the police did not suspect foul play and no investigation took place at that time. They treated the case as a runaway situation. A week later, on May 24th, Michael reported that he had received a brief phone call from Alicia, reportedly from a California payphone. Months go by with no calls, no answers. No one knows where she went. Now the case has just gone cold.
What? Okay.
Right? So that's all in
Couldn't they
2001.
trace the number? Couldn't they find his phone records? Interesting. Okay.
There's a lot of interesting things
It's like
about this case.
2001. Were we like, where were we technologically? Like, maybe in my head, we were like farther than we were. Were we not that advanced?
No, I'm pretty sure they could have. They did say that there was a phone call from California. That's how they knew it was a
Okay.
payphone, because I guess they found out that it was a payphone in California. But who placed the phone call? There was no,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like, how are you going to know
Well,
who it actually was? He's
and
saying it
that's
was
all
her.
you, then you have to believe. That's the only side
That,
that's,
that that's what you
yeah.
go by, right? Um, so the case has been cold. It's been a cold case. It was a cold case for about 5 years. So in 2006, there was a break in the case. I don't know if you ever heard of this guy, Thomas Albert Heimer.
Is that Jingleheimer
Nope.
Schmidt's like brother? That's it, because
Cousin.
his name is ironically my name too.
Yeah.
Ah,
I love this. So he's a he's a self-proclaimed serial killer who at this time was in prison in Florida. He wrote letters confessing that he had killed 21 women. Most of the women were young girls around the age of Alicia. He could recount how he had killed these women in detail. And by all accounts, they said in gruesome detail,
wow.
like what he did to them, stuff like that. So the FBI got involved and took his claims very seriously. When the FBI showed Heimer photos of some women, he pointed out a picture of Alicia. He said that was a girl he met in Phoenix back in 2001. Two detectives traveled to Florida to have a talk with Heimer. When they got there, they met up with the Florida Police Department and talked to Heimer in an interrogation room where he, in disturbing detail, described his interaction with Alicia. He said they met and hooked up in a hotel room, which then ended up with him strangling her, and after he revealed how he had dismembered her body and how he was going to dump the body at a local recycling center. But upon hearing the story, the detectives were not buying it. Something just didn't seem to add up. The Alicia he was describing just didn't seem like the Alicia everyone else had described. one big detail that stood out was that Heimer said Alicia was a heroin addict. That's something you can't just
Yeah,
hide from your
no.
friends and family. Right. You're a drug addict. You can't that you know. Probably at first you could probably hide it, but after a while, everyone's gonna know you're doing drugs,
Yeah,
especially heroin.
that's yeah, you kind of know. They're tells. They're tells.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Just
like your
just
TV's
some, right?
missing. You know, shit like that. Like, it's just yeah,
Yeah, right.
yeah,
Crack marks
that
in your
too,
arm.
all that stuff, missing teeth, all that great stuff.
So after more questioning, Heimer's story kind of fell apart. It was doubtful the woman he was talking about was even Alicia. But what this did wasn't to stall the case; it kind of rekindled it. Um, yeah. So yeah, he talked about it, and the police actually think that he just happened to see like a big billboard with her picture on it,
Oh,
saying that they were
oh,
looking for her, didn't know where she was, and he was just doing it to like get
yeah, get his
honestly
body
get
count
fame.
up.
Yeah, well, that and be like, hey, I did this, girl.
Yep.
Now I'm gonna be famous for doing this, and I'm a serial killer, and
Mhm.
blah blah blah, doing all this shit. They do think he did kill some of the. He was a serial killer, but he didn't. He had
Got it.
nothing to do with Alicia. Never met her, nothing. But in 2008, detectives intensified their investigation. They re-interviewed friends and family members, and doing this, something stood out to them about Alicia's home life. It was discovered that Michael had installed surveillance cameras inside, and strangely, I'm sorry. Michael had installed surveillance cameras outside and, strangely enough, inside the home as well. Michael has been monitoring the girls for years, and they also discovered that the phones were recording all the calls
What?
going out and into the home. Right. So at that time, if she did call, he would have been able to record that message.
Wow, yeah.
Right.
That's so fucking disturbing. Okay.
When the detective questioned Michael about the cameras and phones, he asserted to them it was for the safety of Alicia and not for spying. He later forwarded some video clips to detectives showing Alicia with her boyfriend. What he was trying to do was to show that her boyfriend and any male friends she should be looked at as potential suspects. So don't look at me. Don't look at the strange things that I'm doing. Look at these people that I'm showing you that could possibly know where
Got it.
she is, maybe hiding her
Not
or
the
did
fact
something to
that
her.
he has the recordings, but what's being recorded. It's like, hey, look what I was able to catch. Wait, why did you catch this? Like that's the creepy part. The creepy part isn't the teenage girl doing teenage girl shit. It's the person recording that needs to be questioned. That's oh my god, it's so crazy.
Right. And also remember, that's not her
Yeah,
real dad.
that's oh okay. And that's her legal guardian though.
That's her legal guardian.
Damn, dude.
Right. But when the detectives asked Michael for the tape of the day Alicia went missing, he told them he had already gone through it and there wasn't anything of any significance on the tape. And for whatever reason, Michael also said that Alicia had some unusual sexual traits. And again, after talking with her boyfriend, this did not match up.
What?
So, like, why
That's
would you point that out? Why would you say
so
that?
creepy. Like,
And the cops talked to her boyfriend, and he's like, no, she's not like that. Like, she's not, that's not her. I know her. We've been dating,
and this
you
is
know.
8 years later. So her
Right.
boyfriend was probably in school, already probably married, and the cops come poking around like, hey, remember that ex that disappeared? Like, that sucks for
Right.
him.
Yeah.
That
It's so weird.
ex. Could you imagine? Could you imagine?
Crazy.
Like, let's say you
Crazy.
just, okay, that's weird. It's terrible. I've just gotten past it. My life is going great because I'm not missing and I'm not a murderer. And then all of a sudden, police come in
Yeah.
the new life that I'm living, and it's like, hey, remember that whole thing? Let's just fuck everything up right now. That's crazy.
All right. So, and when asked about the day Alicia supposedly called from California from a payphone, Michael said that the recording had malfunctioned on that day.
Yeah, of course.
Surprisingly, right? Surprising. The one day that they could probably maybe get some information, steer the investigation somewhere that could possibly lead them to where she might be, and
It's
it just
too
happened to not
convenient.
work. Again, stupid technology.
Not on
It
that
won't
day.
work. No. He also didn't want to submit to a polygraph
What?
test. He would only talk to He didn't want to submit to they were, I guess they
Kid.
were trying to get him to do a polygraph test. He's like, no. So after this, there was like a rift between him and the cops. He didn't want to talk to them anymore. He got tired of talking to them. He would only talk to the detectives by phone or emails. That was the only way of communication for them. If they want to get in touch with him, he wouldn't talk to them by phone. From talks with Alicia's friends, they said she didn't like being home because Michael was overbearing and trying to control her life. One of her friends told the detectives when she was around her friends, she was happy and laughing, happy-go-lucky, just regular teenage girl. When she was um, when she was home, it was very different. She was very quiet. She just kind of like kept herself, didn't smile. They said that was like one of the things, like she wouldn't smile. John, Alicia's boyfriend at the time, told detectives in an interview that Alicia confided in him, telling him that Michael tried to abuse her. That he picked her up early from school one day, drove her around, talking, and tried to make a
Oh
move on
my
her.
God.
She said no. Get off me.
Yeah.
I guess he drove back around and took her home. On December 11th, 2001, Alicia's younger sister, Sarah, police called her and told her that they were going to raid Michael's home. Phoenix police and Bob Squad and the ATF, they had to evacuate the neighbors and nearby residents. At a news conference later that night, they disclosed what they were looking for. They were looking for evidence in connection with Alicia's disappearance. Said, fuck it,
Yeah.
we're going to go in there, we're going to just take this out. We're going to
Yeah.
go in there and see what there's got to be some kind of
Because
evidence.
the guy's been stonewalling
Been
the law. They're probably like, we're
right,
going to go get shit. Something.
right. I said 2001. It wasn't 2001. Oh wait, was it 2001?
No, that's when she went missing.
No, so this was later. I'm sorry.
Okay.
It was like 2008. Sorry, or did I mean 11? It
Yeah.
wasn't
No,
in
that's
2001.
no, that's when she went missing. Gotcha.
Yeah, like the same year. What happened? How'd you go back in time? No, okay. So yeah, sorry, I messed up on that. Wrote the wrong date. Um. Anyway, so they went in to look for evidence for any connection with her disappearance. They took his mail and they took a DNA sample. But what they found inside was very surprising. They found over 30
What?
IEDs in his home. He had a bunch of pipe bombs, a bunch of
Holy
stuff like that, right?
shit.
19 high caliber assault rifles, 2 homemade silencers, and a van loaded with
What does that
gasoline.
mean? Loaded with gasoline.
They found
Like
a
like a bunch
van
of
with,
tanks.
I guess, with a bunch of gasoline.
Wow.
Yeah. Um, they also found VHS tapes of Alicia, hours of tapes, but any of the tapes of the day she went missing were nowhere to be found.
Oh.
They also found a 98-page manifesto titled Diary of a Madman Martyr. It detailed his plan to attack the Union Hall in revenge for Alicia's alleged abduction. He blamed the union that he used to be a part of in abducting her because they had some kind of falling out or some bullshit like that. And he's saying that they took her. And they also found, interesting, contracts that Michael had made, and apparently had made Alicia sign them. One of them, from about a year she went missing, before she went missing, it said that she had basically the contract had said that she was saying she's never been sexually abused in any way by Michael whatsoever, and he made her sign it. So there was a contract saying I was never Michael Turney never abused me, blah, 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 never did anything to me, blah, blah, signed Alicia.
That's absolutely crazy. Holy
Right.
crap.
Heck yeah. Right. Turney claimed that Alicia was killed by 2 assassins from the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, and that she was buried in Desert Center, California. Michael also stated that he had eliminated 2 of the assassins. If you killed these assassins, why couldn't you find out where her body was?
So he admitted to murdering 2 people. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But there was no proof of it. It was like, there's where are the bodies?
Like,
where are they?
That throws a huge wrench in like what I was thinking, because for him to make a 98-page manifesto, have IEDs, have the freaking weapons and stuff ready to go, then you would assume, you know what? No one just does that.
Okay, so on that note, really, so what he did was, again, he to get revenge for them taking her and supposedly killing her, right? He was going to take this down to the Union Hall, and he was going to drive that van into the building. He was going to blow it up. He was going to, and then he was, blow it up, and anybody running out, said he was going to shoot them. Wow. That's what's in the manifesto, right? He said he was going to pick them off as they were coming out. And then when that was all done, he was going to take himself out,
leaving his blood to suffer without a dad. That's psychotic, bro.
That's what he wanted to do. That was part of his plan. For supposedly these people kidnapping and killing Alicia. And the weird thing is, I don't know if they did it because they wanted to, or if he told her to do it. I don't want to say them because Sarah is his daughter, but I don't know if he made Alicia call him dad, or if she wanted to call him dad, or if she just called him dad because that's pretty much all she knew. But I always thought that was weird. I'm like, that's your stepdad. Like, I mean, I guess in a way I kind of understand, like, you calling him dad, okay, but you didn't like him. He was trying to control your whole life.
What happened to her?
He wasn't.
What happened to her biological father?
He disappeared. I think he was on drugs and stuff too. Yeah. So where we go? Oh, after going through the hours of video and audio, it produced no leads. They even dug up the backyard, but found nothing. So they thought maybe if anything happened, she's in the backyard.
Wow.
Didn't find her. Right. Michael has maintained his innocence through all this, but in 2010, Michael was arrested not for the death of Alicia, but for the pipe bombs, and got a 10-year sentence. In 2017, Michael was released from prison. Now, Sarah and Michael's relationship has since been strained because she's like definitely fighting. She's a big advocate to get justice for her sister. Michael keeps saying that he's innocent, has nothing to do with it. Very strangely enough, there are audio recordings of him and her having conversations, and one that I found very interesting was he said she's like asking questions, and it bugs me because it's like he's like, oh well, if you want to know the truth, all you got to do, people have to ask, nobody's asking me the right questions, and that type of shit. Yeah, and it's like, what do
Like,
you mean? Like, where is she? He goes, I don't know where she is. I don't know. She's gone. She's not. I don't know where she is. And if you really want to know the truth, Sarah, if you really want to know the truth, ask me on my deathbed. I'll tell you anything. I'll tell you everything
what?
when I'm on my deathbed. Like, why would that doesn't make any sense? It
Oh
makes
my,
no sense. If you're innocent, then you would say, like, I have nothing to do with it. I don't know where she is. Not come ask me when I'm dying, and then I'll tell you what you want to know. Like, that doesn't make any sense. This guy sounds so out of his
dude,
mind in interviews.
dude.
Like, he just has he's just such a psycho. He's a creep. And it was speculated. Well, it's probably more. I want. I think that what a lot of people are saying is that he either really wanted to have a relationship with Alicia or was having a relationship with Alicia. And some people say that if he was having a relationship with her, she did it so that he would keep his hands off of Sarah.
Mm.
So it's like, you can have me, just
That's what
leave my
people are
little sister
speculating,
alone.
right? Uh,
That's
like,
speculation, yes. But I mean, it just seems like it when you hear like the way he talks about her, when you see like, oh my god, dude, there's videos. She's in a swimming pool, right? She's in a swimming pool. It's at night, and I guess they're like at a hotel or something like that. And
that's
he's like
weird.
recording her. He would sit out in the parking lot of her job and record
Oh,
her. Yeah, so she's at work at Jack in the Box, and he's sitting in the parking lot, just
that's
sitting there
creepy as
recording
fuck.
her. Like, why would you do that? There's a one video. In the video, she's little. I don't know. I'm not sure how old she is, but she's little. She's holding the video camera, and Alicia's in the back, and she's like, oh, you can hear her, and she's like, Sarah, Dad's a pervert. And then Michael like grabs the camera and was like, hey, turn that off. She's like, no, I don't know how to work it or some shit like that. But anyway, he was like, you're a jerk, you're acting stupid or something like that. But it was
That
like, she's telling people, like, I feel like she's telling people that he's
oh yeah.
molesting
Like
her.
it's such a weird effing story. It's such a weird effing story.
Yeah.
Because
So he's
Mhm.
been released. He hasn't been convicted of the murder because there's no body. They can't find technically they can't
Yeah,
find any evidence
she's still missing.
of her.
She's still a missing person.
She she's technically a missing
She's not
person.
presumed dead, is she?
Actually, well, well, I think it's
I
after
think it's
how
like
many years is it that
7.
you're
I think it's 7 years. You're presumed dead.
yeah, because nobody knows where she is. There's no sign of her. Nobody, no other family members have come forward to say that they've seen her, talked to her, know where she is, she's okay, and nothing. So I mean, I would assume that maybe they presume that she is dead, but I think Sarah's fighting to even if she believes she's still alive, but if she's not, still thinks that Michael needs to go to jail
So
for murder, which I think he
yeah,
needs to go
so
to jail for murder
his own
too.
daughter thinks that he did it. That's see?
Yes. Yeah. That he knows if he didn't do it, he knows something, or he's not saying, yeah. She's like, yeah, no, you did something. You either killed her or
You,
you did
you know
something.
what's absolutely outlandish, but what if now there's no way in hell this is happening, right? But what if the Brotherhood of the Fat Electricians put out a hit? Like, what if they're like the freaking Ra's al Ghul of the trade? You know, yeah, like
What if they actually
what?
did
Like,
it?
granted, he is 99.9999999% guilty of killing her, but holy shit, what if? Like, what? Like, I just because that's the part that's so like outlandish. That's like such that whole scenario, the manifesto, the pipe bombs, the shit like that, the stuff that he's ready to go kill people for, and not just one or two people. He's ready to mass murder for, right? Are the ones he's saying took her or killed her. Like he was ready to do damage and kill himself, right? That that's a huge wrench in that whole progression. Like it that's the thing that like it if I'm going to go out in the blaze of glory, in his mind, I'm not I'm
Right.
not
Yeah.
guilty. And like, no,
I'm not
but it's
going
just
alone.
like you don't do that if you're the one you don't kill a person and then seek retribution for the death of the person you killed by killing a ton of other people. Like that's the
Yeah. Yeah. I'm telling you, man. I don't know. It's so. I know. I got you. I got you. I hear what you're saying, but it's just like so
it makes no
freaking
sense.
weird, man. Just no, it doesn't make any sense. And I mean, I just have to look. I look at him and I'm like,
Well, yeah,
he
no.
did it. He did it. If you listen to these conversations, if you listen to like interviews, it's like he sounds very narcissistic, and he just
Yeah, no.
sounds like
All right,
scum.
I anybody that would
Scum.
put cameras on the inside of their house, right, and claim it's for the inhabitants' safety is nuts. Okay, that person is. I would say after he lost his wife, he broke and became schizophrenic. Like that probably flipped something in his head.
Either that, or he really had his eye on Alicia since she was younger, and was, I guess, like, yeah. At some point, I think people were saying he was trying to
No,
groom her.
I believe
When she
that.
was younger.
I believe that. It's all the telltale
You know.
signs, isn't it? Like all of it, especially that contract. That's weird as shit.
Yeah, and he was like, didn't want her to go anywhere. Didn't think that any boys weren't good enough, I mean, I think for I think like he would like interview what they say, like he would interview the boys that would come over and like talk to, like, interview like the parents too, ask them like shit ton of
What?
questions and shit. Like, dude, chill out, man.
What?
Like, you're
But it's too weird because I feel like there's two different angles, two completely different angles to this, right? Like one angle is cut and dry, right? He 100% did it. I am with you on that. But it's like then there's this fucking nut angle that like what if it's so outlandish that the Brotherhood of Electricians, that he was about to go wipe out, John Wick style. Yeah, you don't just do that because they fired you. You know what I mean? Like you don't plan that shit because you had a disagreement. You don't, so it's like that to me is the oddest story. Like that part of the story doesn't add up to anything that's normal. Like this whole
dude.
story about the creepy man that's a stepdad, that's, unfortunately, that's what happens more often than not in these cases. That is copy and
Yeah.
paste textbook stuff. The thing that stands out that isn't textbook is the manifesto, the IEDs, the van full of gas tanks, and
Homemade
like
silencers, all the
that's the
rifles.
weird shit. Like all that stuff that he had for as careful as he was and as intelligent as he was, right? In his own mind, I'm using air quotes, as intelligence, as overseeing, as
Yeah.
overbearing as he was, having IEDs in your own house, having homemade silencers, all of these carry prison times. All of these carry prison times. So for him being as smart as he was, that's absolutely stupid. You know what I mean? Like that's the
Yeah.
part where it's like, okay, you were so careful. You have contracts saying that he didn't molest his dog. Like person that is doing paperwork, covering the bases, all that kind of stuff, right? And then all of a sudden, IEDs, manifesto, car full of gas tank. Like that part doesn't make sense. That's the part that I'm like, I don't understand. Was that whole thing a red herring to get away with murder? Like, oh, this for sure will throw them off. Because if he had surveillance all over the place, he knew he was about to get raided.
Yeah. Well, he had it for years. It wasn't like recently.
Oh, so
you know what I mean?
Currently recording them.
No, he did it for. He had like tapes for years.
But
Of
nothing
tapes.
was like recent. Like
no, it was even up till recently, yeah. But it was like that one day, that the day that she went missing.
He didn't record.
No recordings.
Wow.
There was it's when he flipped the switch to off. There was no audio. There was no video recordings of it. So it was like, so you have all these recordings, all these times of the girls sitting there with their boyfriend watching TV. Supposedly he had video cameras in their rooms too, or in Alicia's room. He treated them very differently. He kind of let Sarah not do what she wants, but she had more freedom. Alicia could not do anything without him knowing or saying it was okay. Apparently, so that's why everyone are like, well, that seems kind of weird. So you had this thing going on with her that they think that there was a relationship, a sexual relationship
now,
between
hear me
them.
out on this, because I'm agreeing with you, obviously, but I have to be the one. I want to be the one with the crazy theory. What happens if on that day he saw the people that took her? What if on that day that recording shows the people that he deleted? What if on that day that shit happened the way his crazy wackadoo mind works? What if, right? You see the people, you see them get her, right? You see them take her, and you know who they are because the Fraternal Brotherhood of the Iron Fist electricians, yeah,
Hydra
took out a hit on your stepdaughter, as they normally do.
Yeah.
And you and that's where you go, and that's how you delete these two people, because of that. And then that's where his manifesto comes from. That's where his craziness comes from, because he knows who did it. He handled business. Now he's about to take all of them out.
I think I mean, I get,
look, I am agreeing with you. I am not saying that he didn't. He 100% killed his stepdaughter. But holy shit, what if?
What if? Like, I mean, honestly, at this point, he's an old guy, and I'd be like, you know what? This is what I did. I went and I killed these fuckers because they took my daughter. I don't think anybody would sit there and be like, especially if that happened, that's big.
If no, it didn't happen, but yes.
But I think that with him having that that background in law enforcement, I believe that would help him get a pass as to saying, like, okay, we understand what you did. You did it because you had to. You were saving your family. Not a big deal. We'll go through the logistics of it. You'll probably have to show up in court.
No,
you're gonna be a free man. Not a big deal. I feel like they would definitely sweep it under the rug.
That would be viewed as a retribution killing, which is murder, 100%. It's not like defense. That's
no, but I mean, somebody's stealing your kid. That's still like, you know what I mean? I think it's like if you saw somebody hurting your kid, right? I mean, and you went back inside, you grabbed the rifle or whatever, and you just went out and. I think for the most part, people would say, "Well, you were defending your kid."
No, 100%. But what I'm saying is, he was out, right? He was out and about doing errands. Let's just say he comes back, right? and all this shit has happened, and he's just like, this is what's happening. And he knows that, let's say the two guys that did the hit, this is so ridiculous. The two guys that did the hit, right? They were obviously sent by someone who resided in the high chair of the electrical
Right,
commission,
yeah.
electrical wiring commission, or whatever they are, right? And then he was going to take them all out. He was like, I got the henchmen. That's not really who I'm after. I killed them, but I'm going to go to the top.
He- he's like a mix between Jason Statham
Yeah,
and John
and
Wick.
like Jason Voorhees, like all of them, like the Manson to John Wick, without the coolness, with all the creepiness. You know, like granted, this guy belongs under the prison because everyone knows what he did. But holy crap, sometimes
I don't know. I still think that if it had gone down there, I really think that, yeah, regardless of how it was, if he was like, "This is what happened. I did this," they would probably sweep it under the rug and be like, "Fuck
then
it, dude. You
again,
did what
like
you had to
if
do."
that's true, like let's just for shits and giggles, if that's true, it's so unbelievable. Just like how we're joking about, it's so unbelievable, that he's obviously crazy. And I feel like that's the craziest part of it. It's like everything up to the IDs in the manifesto tracks with killer, right? Creepy killer, creepy stepdad, groomer killer that has been played out in almost every news story out there. So the weird thing
Yeah,
is everything else. That's the weird thing. That's the weird thing. That's the one that's like, what? What? Well, that makes no sense. It's like it goes from I know where this is ending to, are we talking about like law-abiding citizen with Gerard Butler? Is that what we're doing? Like, is this what we're doing?
right.
It's
Yeah,
like it changes the whole plot of the movie. So it's something definitely to, obviously that didn't happen, guys. I'm letting everyone listening know I'm not believing what I'm putting down, but I'm just saying, like, there is not a 0% chance that didn't happen, or it couldn't. Let's say it couldn't. It didn't for sure, but I'm not ever going to say it couldn't happen.
you're not gonna say it
I'm
couldn't
not.
happen.
I'm not. Listen, Arizona is a pretty lonely fucking place, pretty dismal place. Um, so I wouldn't put it
Yeah,
past anyone. Like, what if the fraternal brotherhood of copper company was like, hey, listen, this man knows that we're smuggling meth from the cartels. Like Arizona. Like, what if we're doing a big empire of illegal
yeah.
fireworks on the side, and he's about to expose everything? Take him out. Like that. Like, I'm not saying that shit couldn't happen. There's a
Well, I'm gonna just say that
yeah.
didn't happen. I'm just gonna say that didn't happen. That's like a big
I'm just saying.
stretch.
I'm just saying. It's not as it's not a
No,
zero
that's not.
percent chance.
I'm not even gonna be like, yeah, you know
Nope.
what?
I'm just
Maybe.
saying there
Nope,
there
not
is
happening.
there could be a 0.01% chance of that shit being right. 0.01%.
I'm gonna say there's about 1,000% chance that he
Oh,
ended up
100%.
killing his stepdaughter.
99.99999.
I'm not even gonna say like there's
Um,
even a slight a quarter of a chance
what's
that he turned into like some superhero fucking
no, he wasn't a
shit
superhero. I
where,
think he was pissed that they took his
well, I
no,
mean, it's like they're
I
gonna say like this this fraternity of
no,
electrical
no.
henchmen
Okay, so what I'm
came
saying
in
is,
and like,
like, he was definitely grooming her, and he was definitely like, you know what I mean, doing the bad shit, right? And the electrical company took that away. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just like, okay, he's just nuts. This dude's nuts and psychotic. I'm thinking, where are his other kids? What are they doing in life? Are they fucked up too? Like,
I think I don't know. They're all around. No one, that's the one thing that I never didn't see anything about, like the rest of his. I think maybe they don't want anything to
But
do
like,
with
you know what I
him.
mean? It's like, okay, he's a terrible father, obviously. But what about his other kids that have made it out without, dying?
Yeah, I think they don't want
What
anything to do with him.
is that after this story or before? You know what I mean? Like,
Probably before, because they got away. They're living their life, and they never. It doesn't seem like they were around.
which is weird. Which is a big red flag, massive red flag.
So I don't know.
Wild.
But anyway, we're gonna. All right,
Jesus.
cool. So yeah, that's the that is the story of Alyssa Turney. Hopefully some answers come out sooner than later. And I really hope that Michael Turney gets what's coming to him, because he deserves every last bit of it.
And you know what though? If he obviously did it, but if he's not telling no one, and he's the one that knows the truth, he should have just come out and said something. He like this whole thing, like you said, like I know something. I know something.
This fucking electrical union brotherhood of evil workers came out
you know
and
what I mean?
took
Like
her.
he could have just said that. You know what I mean? Like if he killed her, if it wasn't, he'd be out there. They did it. It's nuts. This whole thing is crazy. We're gonna end up waiting for him to be on his deathbed. That's when it's gonna happen. That's when it's gonna come out.
Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, so if you guys are actually interested, you can look up Sarah's social media. She's on, I believe, all or most platforms. On Twitter or X, Instagram, and TikTok. I believe she's Sarah E. Turney, all one word.
Turney.
Yep. SARAHETURNEY. She's on X, Twitter, whatever you want to call it, Instagram, TikTok. And I believe it's Justice for Alicia on Instagram and Sarah Turney on Facebook.
Wow. Man, I feel bad. I feel bad for that whole, like that she's just never going to get answers. I couldn't imagine. I couldn't imagine that at all. That sucks. Yeah, and especially if the truth is so close to you. If the truth is so fucking close. If there is one person that knows the truth, and he's just not saying it, like that in and of itself should be punished, is a punishable crime. So
yeah, he knows something. But anyway, thank you guys for joining us. I hope you enjoyed this episode of the Av Files. Until next time, everybody. See you later, Daniel.
Later.
See you later, everybody else. Peace.
In a world of shadows and hidden truths, we search for answers, we chase the clues. A podcast of enigma.